James, you would like to know if I've ever heard of an elephant bull called Daryl. Yes, I have, and I know him quite well. The Daryl was named after one of the chefs that used to work with me at Sabi Earth Lodge. And Daryl is that bull I was telling the story about yesterday that was picking up the bones of the elephant carcass. Yeah, Daryl is quite a well-known character around Sabi Earth Lodge. He often visits the lodge. He's been seen on the roof of the lodge as well. So yeah, I've had a couple of close shaves with him and got to spend a lot of time with him. He's also the one that used to come and drink out of our staff swimming pool and stand around our rooms feeding. So yeah, he's got a big hole in his ear. So I always used to joke around and say he used to be a gangster in his previous life with his ear piercing. The piercing must be from fighting maybe a tusk or something that they went through the skin of the ear. Maybe it got ripped up on a big thorn when it was moving through the bush. Who knows? But yeah, he's quite a character. Old Daryl. Smiles. All these trees around here, are they from elephant damage? I think they are. Elephants maybe pulling some branches off, looking for the fresher shoots higher up on the tree. Yeah, it is from elephant damage. Maybe looking for the fresher shoots higher up on the tree. Also, some of them would have been pushed over to get to the roots of the tree. Maybe some of the smaller trees being pushed over. Often you see elephants pulling over knob thorns, pulling over branches or down branches. Marulas you'll see quite often. I've been told by some of the trackers that I worked with, the marula branches, the newer shoots, are quite sweet. So it's almost like they're getting a bit of sugar cane for them to chew on. Just folks, while we keep looking around and see what else we can find, we're gonna head over to Brent. He wants to say good morning to you. He's taking over from Taylor in the tent. We'll see you later.
Hello. I beat Taylor with a stick and have taken the tent back. I'm lounging again. Great to have you all with us. And what an exciting morning so far. Lovely to catch up with those little leopard cubs. And I did get to watch Taylor pretending to be a leopard. She did not look very comfortable. Oh dear. My microphone has escaped me. I apologize. So apparently I was a bit muffled. Now you get to see what we do. I'm going to put it back through my hat. Well, that'll do for now. I'll fix it properly just now. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so apparently there's a beautiful bird on the dam cam. And it flew away. So that doesn't matter. Now, we were talking about snakes a bit yesterday. Now, do I have a treat for you? So last night, after we got into bed, just find this now. My brother called me and he said there was a snake in his room. So I got quite excited. Now that's what we do. We get excited when we get steaks. Oh, why can't I find it? This is a very big book. Maybe it's under. Yes, it is. That's what it is. 283. Now, it wasn't a very big snake, and it wasn't a very dangerous snake, but it is a very cool snake. Here we go. Schlegel's beaked blind snake. So funny looking things. I always think it almost looks like computer code. Now, here we go. We're looking at a photograph, and you can see the head shape. I'm going to try have a look at if we can show you the head shape shortly. So you can see where it gets its beak from. But even better than looking in a book is having the snake itself. So the only thing I had to catch it with yesterday was my solar light when the power goes off. There we go. See, well, do you see the light come on? There we go. It even has a dance party mode. I'll take that off. Now, these are harmless little guys. Oh, there we go. Come here, little one. So I caught him in our room, in my brother's room. Oh, he's tying himself in a knot there. Okay, let's see. Maybe that'll be a bit better. I'm trying to see if you can see the beak. I will let him go after we finished having a look at him. I still want to get some photographs of him as well a bit later. But you can see, there we go, look at that. Look at that body. It's just incredible. I think what I'm going to do, Vim, is I'm going to put him in one of these. It might be a little bit easier for us to watch him. Oh, there's him. Here we go. Okay. Oh, he's got his little tail. Oh, he's a sneaky one. He's hooked his tail there. Oh, he's out already. That one wasn't deep enough. Very, very pretty little snakes. Now, must remember that most snakes are more scared of us than, oopsie, we are of them. He's not too stressed out at the moment. He's trying to get to ground and soil because he lives under the ground. He's a blind snake. Okay, wait, it's a shame. Let's put him back. He'll be a bit more calm. And there. Oh, oh. It's okay, little guy. Nope, he doesn't. Okay. So let him calm down a little bit. And of course, at this time of the year, the snakes are incredibly active and busy. And so, of course, I don't really recommend, if you don't know anything about snakes, don't start picking them up. But for that type of snake, I know he's completely harmless. He eats little slugs and things. He lives underground, and it's quite unusual to have them above ground. They do come out at night, and that's when we found him. But most of the time when we see them, it's after a heavy rain, and they get washed out of their burrows. Now, we can hear the woodlands kingfishers calling all around us. Well, speaking of woodlands kingfishers, let's go have a look on the dam cam. Oh, there we go. That is a long way off from the cam. There he is, the woodlands kingfisher. Not one of the ones that I can hear calling from here. Oh, off he goes. Now, yesterday we had a look at some grass under the microscope, and we were talking about flowers. So now I've got some panicum grass here. Let me just, oh, the wind's blowing it. Unfortunately, I'll put my lid on top of it. And let's get some focus here. There we go. Beautiful. So let's go have a look at the the wind. Let's stop the wind, but it should be, there we go. So isn't that incredible? So even, there's the little grass seeds. Oh, wind, stop blowing. Very vibrating grass seeds. Come on, wind, stop. But I'm trying to see the flowers. This wind is proving microscope difficult. But there we go. You can actually see the little flowers that are exploding out of the seeds. So grass are also one of the flowering plants of the world. Of course, the flowers are just so tiny, you need a microscope. Okay, it seems like we've got a gap in the window. Okay, now it's making everything out of focus. Oh dear. Okay, I think let's stop that. There we go. Some panicum grass, but we did get a chance when it wasn't blowing too hard to have a quick look at some of those beautiful, beautiful flowers. Now, of course, there are so many fascinating things out here in the bush and so many fascinating things to find. Now, I wonder what we can have next. I haven't managed to break any of James's toys yet. Now, Tony was wondering, what are the scales like on that snake? Well, let me just get a picture of him. Let me show you. It's very, very smooth. They're very, very fine and very, very smooth. I suppose that's the best there. So they're very, 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 very tiny. You can confuse them with some other blind snakes, but that's the only one we get that occurs here. So the closest one to it is the Peter's blind snake that lives up in northern Botswana. So then you can see that, but it's more white and doesn't have that sort of almost shiny gunmetal side. Now, we do get lots of different blind snakes. But that is the most common one we see, and it's also one of the biggest ones. You get to about 60 centimeters, and there we go. That's very, very, very cool little snake. Now let's see what else we've got here. Now, one stone and two cats says, do we have any rainbow snakes here? I'm not sure if that's the correct name. Don't think so. I've never heard of a rainbow snake. And have you ever heard of a rainbow snake? No. Yeah, so I've never heard of any rainbow snakes. Maybe if there's another name, or even the scientific family. And that was a question from one stoner and two cats who would want to know, what is a rainbow snake, or do we get them here? We could have a quick look in the book, but I'm pretty sure I know this book quite well. But we'll go to R anyway. R. Red lip snake, reed snake, reed slung, rinkhouse, rock snake. Unfortunately, no rainbow snakes. Now, as I said, we're going to have a look what else is fun in the tent. I found this quite a while ago. The wasp larvae. It was one of the spider hunting wasps. So this ball of mud would have been filled with probably about 50 or so little spiders or caterpillars, each with a little wasp nest, an egg in them. And as soon as that egg hatched, it got a fresh meal, because when the wasp stings the stuff, it doesn't actually kill it, it just paralyzes it. There we go. Very cool. You can see where the babies have come out. Nice little holes. Oh yeah, while I continue to play with all James's toys in the tent, let's go back to F-Air and see what he's up to.
We still haven't given up on these lions. Just making a bigger loop around, see if there was any movement last night. Checking a couple of different roads at the moment. See if they've moved on from their last position. Coming back to old Daryl, Davy has just told me that he's also had a funny encounter with Daryl up here at Djuma. So it just shows you how far these animals move. That's maybe a 40 or 50 kilometer move from down the south all the way up here. There was a fork-tailed drongo that flew over in front of us. It's sitting in that tree over there. Maybe let me go back a bit. It looked like it had something in its mouth as it flew over. The dead tree. There we go. What is that? The caterpillar, maybe. Looks like it. I can't see exactly what it is. Oh, and it goes, gone. Cleaning his beak a bit. Ready for the next meal. Let's keep moving. Some Burchell's starlings right in front of us. One's just gone down on the road in front of us. Excuse me. What? Also looking for a meal. These birds will look for any insects moving around. So they'll sometimes be on the ground, sometimes flying around. I've seen glossy starlings moving around with big game as well, waiting for them to disturb something out of the grass as the animal is moving, and then flies in and catches it. Valna, you would like to know if the turtle dove only has one call. Yes, I think it does. Yeah, only that. Work harder, work harder. And apparently in the afternoon some people say it says drink lager. So yeah, that's the only call I've heard from them. I haven't heard any other calls from them. Well, that's maybe the call that you hear the most. Aaron in New Zealand, you would like me to find you a grey heron. We'll have to go past a couple of the watering holes and see if we get lucky, but we can definitely give it a shot, give it our best shot, and see if we can find you one. Maybe we must go past Buffelshoek Dam and see if we get lucky there. Maybe go past Djuma Pan as well. Well, maybe you can use the dam cam and see if you get any luck from that perspective. Maybe you can ask Brent in the tent to join up in the search for the grey heron. This area we're in now is quite thick. There's a lot of black monkey orange around. All these grey coloured short trees are all black monkey oranges. If those lions were moved into this area, it's going to be a bit tough to get to them. These black monkey oranges have a way of hooking cables and making life quite difficult out here. So if they did move, let's hope they moved through this area and carried on to an easier area for us to follow them. There's a bit of hippo dung. A hippo that scattered its dung. It's on the tree here as well, so the hippo came past, stood here for a couple of seconds maybe, doing the business and fanning his tail while he was doing that to get the dung all over. There's quite an interesting story of why the hippo does this. Apparently, long ago, hippos used to live out of the water, and on a hot year like this, it went to the creator and asked if it could live in the water, and the creator said no. We've already got creatures living in there. There's crocodile in there. And hippo said, oh, okay. It stayed very hot, and he went back to the creator and asked again, and the creator said no. But hippo persisted. He came to him again and he said, please, can we live in the water? And eventually the creator said, yes, you can. There's only one rule though. You have to always scatter your dung to show me that you are not eating any fish and stealing the crocodile's food. So from that day onwards, hippo have been in the water and scattering their dung all over the place to show that there's no fish bones in it. Let's carry on. There's a vehicle approaching us. We just want to get out of their way. Morning.
How are you?
Fine, thanks yourself.
Okay,
all good? Lekker.
Thanks for that invite.
Oh, it's only a pleasure. It was lovely, eh? A lot of entertainment. Is it? Awesome. We'll go have a look maybe a bit later. Lekker. Thank you. Have a lovely morning. Bye-bye. Folks, we're going to head over to Brent and see what he's got for you in the tent.
I'm playing with my microscope. Did I say my microscope? I meant James's microscope. And I've now got something that the wind hasn't managed to blow away. And it is... Oh, now the wind tries to move it. But look at that. Isn't that grotesque? Isn't that a really weird looking creature? Isn't that a strange looking creature? Now, it is the head of a ground beetle. So, oopsie, let's go in from this side, I think. There we go. That is an eye. There. And we can't really see the really massive mouth parts. I'm going to try... I think just now, I'll try and move it. I'll try and get him into a spot where he's sitting upright so you can see the massive teeth. But isn't that cool, having such a much closer look at the head of a ground beetle? Now, of course, they're voracious hunters. And I'm just going to try reposition it so we can see upwards into its mouth. And I think the best way to do that is to use my tool here. So I'm going to pop that in there. It's my microscope vise. How's that? Let's see if it works. Oh dear. So this is so much fun, isn't it? Being in the tent. Okay, now let me see if I can get focus on there. There you go. Whoopsie. There we go. There we go. Look at those incredible big gnashes. You can see them. They cross over there. There's one there. They're like massive blades that can slice through any unsuspecting insect that it's after while feeding. Very, very awesome creatures. We get quite a few different species of ground beetle here. The two-spot, this is one of the smaller ones, the dark one. I'd really love to get my hands on a massive sort of two-spot ground beetle's head. That would be impressive. Okay. Now, let's put it back in one of James's little boxes. And you can see I want everyone to know that I did not decapitate it. It was decapitated when I found it. Just in case I start getting blamed for decapitating ground beetles. Let's put it back. Oopsie, there we go. So many fun things to look at. Now, I'm going to take advantage of the tent while I can. Now, this is a very, very cool moth species. It's called an oleander hawk moth. And they do lose their color after a little bit of time, but they are absolutely gorgeous. So, I've never looked at one under a microscope, and it almost looks like it's someone with a fancy hair pattern. I mean, you can see those incredible colors. Now, they're normally a little bit more pronounced green. He's a bit old. He's been in the tent for a while. Oh, there's the wind playing a bit of havoc. I'm just going to try and get us, there we go, a view of the eye. Isn't that amazing? So, I mean, the insects have compound eyes, and unfortunately Microsoft isn't powerful enough. Oh, no, dear, Brent. No wind. Oh, dear. The wind is coming back. I just wanted to show you his mouth. But the wind is not playing with me, and I don't want to damage the specimen. Oh, no, don't blow away. Back in your bottle. Whoopsie. So I think maybe I should move on from my obsession with the microscope, or maybe find heavier things that the wind cannot blow away. Okay. Let's see what else fun things. This is very nice. Let's go outside. Now, I've been very lucky in my life. I've spent all sorts of fascinating people, and one of the people I've spent quite a lot of time with is a paleoanthropologist. So we're going to revert a little bit. Now, as you can see inside this bone, it's hollow, so the marrow would have lived in there. The marrow was already, forget I said that. So it would have been filled with bone marrow. Now, bone marrow is a really important fat and protein. But now, if I'm an early hominid or hominin, how am I going to get through that thick layer of bone to get to that protein-rich fat? I need a tool. So there we go. They were much stronger than we are. They would probably be able to break it in a much quicker thing. But you can see how this has been worked. And you see how it fits perfectly in the palm of my hand. So that tells me what age it is as well. When it comes to stone tools, you can age them by their size. So this is a middle stone-aged hand axe. Now, a while ago, I brought one from home that James had in the tent that was massive. And that is an early Stone-Age hand axe when our ancestors were much bigger and had to be much stronger. So this is a middle Stone Age. Now, the late Stone Age, they are tiny. I mean, they're tiny little slivers. They're almost like razor blades. There were obviously some bigger pieces like this one would have been for breaking open bones, and so it's probably middle to late Stone Age, because I can still hold it comfortably in my hand, and you can see it fits perfectly. It's even got a grip there for my thumb, so I can get some purchase while I try to get to bone marrow or open some fruit pulp. So very fascinating that. I haven't found many Stone Age tools here, which is quite, well, not quite strange. I found a lot further south in the Sabi Sands, but that's because there would have been permanent water around the rivers. Here, people early and even before, so the hominins would have moved in and out because there's no permanent water up here. But let's go look at something an early hominin would have found most delicious if found while out hunting in the bush.
Brent, I don't know how delicious this would have been, but who knows, maybe the older folks would have enjoyed it. We've got a strong wind blowing over us, so you might struggle hearing me, and that is oh my, has disappeared. Sorry, I'll quickly set that out. My mic just disappeared from my hat. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is a Nile or a water monitor, and it looks like it's got quite a bit of mud on his face. Maybe it was hunting, looking for amphibians or something to eat deeper in the mud. Yo, this wind is very strong. I don't know where it's come from. It's been quiet all morning. Yeah, these guys will eat a whole host of different prey species, from eggs to little amphibians, some other reptiles, anything that they can get their hands on, actually. I wonder if he's in the water because he got disturbed by the leopards earlier on. We are back at Twin Dams. Quickly, before they disappear, there's 2 warthogs in the area as well. They are making a very quick move, and they're not too far from those leopards. Shame. Yeah, and disappeared, and off they go. If I was them, I would do the same thing. This is quite a large monitor. We can see a bit more of his body now. I would guess he's maybe around a meter, just over a meter in length. Well, let's carry on and go and see what those leopards are up to, if they're still in the tree or if they've moved on. Let's go find out. Cheetahs can be quite nasty when they're cornered. They've got big claws, these water monitors, and they'll scratch. They'll even bite, hit you with their tail, use their tail as a whip, and give you a good hiding. Suzanne, you would like to know if monitors can keep their breath underwater, and for how long? I think they definitely can. I don't know exactly how long they can keep it for though. But yeah, they'll definitely be able to do so when they hunt and when they're looking for food, or maybe trying to get away from a predator. I'm just gonna try and maneuver my way in here so you get a nice view of these leopard again. Yeah. Yeah. So, Xongile is still in a very nice position, but those warthogs got Hosana's attention. He's moved, so the only bit of him we can see is his tail. I think they've found a lovely spot to stay in for the day, and hopefully they do. It's a nice, cool area, and with this breeze coming past, it will be a very comfortable resting spot. Marianne, you would like to know if when these cubs become independent and they go their separate ways, if they found each other again, would they be friendly with one another? I personally think that there should be some form of a bond between the two, and they might recognize each other later on. From my perspective, I highly doubt that there will be too much interaction between the two of them after the independence. I think Hosana will be pushed out much further afield than she would. Could maybe take up a portion of Karula's territory and stay relatively local, with him moving further off and trying to get his genetics into a completely different area. Who is the father of these cubs? Is it Hosana? Not Hosana. Tingana. Shamson, a very, very, very good point. With them up high in the tree like that, I think we do drive past leopard quite often. And I think anywhere where they might find themselves in a cool, comfortable spot, we drive past them quite often. I think you are 100% on the ball there with your comment. A former colleague of mine, he was tracking a male leopard and following the tracks, walking through the bush, and the next minute he was standing under this leopard that had killed a warthog and pulled it up a tree. So luckily no harm came to him, but yeah, I think he got the fright of his life as this leopard jumped down and ran off, trying to get away from him. It is quite a scary noise when a leopard starts growling and run at you. Paul, you would like to know if Hosana will have an easier time coming down the tree than going up. I don't think so. I think it's going to be more awkward coming down than he had coming up. He'll be facing down, so I think he'll be looking at the ground, coming closer and closer, and making sure and trying not to slip. I don't think he's gonna do the whole reverse position coming back down. So it should make for some entertainment when he does decide to descend down to the ground again. But I think they're gonna stick around up in the air for a bit. As we're sitting out in the sun, I'm very envious of them up top there and in the shade. I don't think with the heat that we're experiencing at the moment they'll go anywhere, and if they do, I think they might just move to the water and come and find shade again. But they might have had water just before we found them this morning. So maybe they won't need anything for a couple of hours at least. You can still see those warthogs in the distance. Suzanne, you would like to know if leopard fathers know their daughters and if they would mate with them, and if there would have been any genetic problems that you would find with siblings mating. I think they do know them. I would guess when they go into adulthood and all the body systems start working and readiness for mating and all those things come in, I think those things are put aside a bit and they will mate with their daughters. I think it's only after a couple of generations, maybe 3 or 4 generations of the father mating with the daughter, that there might be problems. But generally males won't spend enough time in an area and being the dominant male to get to maybe 3 or 4 generations. So it's highly unlikely that there'll be genetic defects with them mating with their daughters. I find it quite interesting how they make themselves comfortable up there. Nice yawn and a bit of a stretch. Folks, we're going to spend some more time with these beautiful spotted cats, but for the time being, let's go find out what Brent is up to.
Hello. Yes, now I decided to come out here. I'm not going to rip it off. I'm not going to waste paper. Let's take the black one. maybe we can incorporate a Taylor's crocodile. So I'm just going to give us, let me just think, there we go, more or less. That's what we're looking at here. And pretty much like that. So this is Djuma. And that's Arathusa. So if you come in from Gowrie Gate, there's where Taylor access camps about here. There's the dam. But now, the Mwati River pretty much runs through the center of Djuma. Oh, whoa, I've gone the wrong way. Oh dear, it goes that way. But a little bit more to the center. But I was just going to say, so where Twin Dams is about there. So those leopards are on the big torchwood over there. We think, we were discussing about Tingana. I know he was seen on the dam cam last night. He came to the dam and he likes to walk down Central Road, which is actually, this is a terrible drawing. I'm going to have to start again. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, this is a very complicated thing here. Enough. Okay, let's start again. I think it was Taylor's crocodile that distracted me. Start down in the corner. That's where the gate is. And there we go. That's Buffalo's cut line. Cheetah cut line. And Gowrie Main. Wonderful. Well, we're going to leave Arathusa out for now. Okay, so as I said, there we go. We're about here. That's where we're sitting. The dam's over there. And the Mwati runs pretty much through the center of Djuma like that, leaving over there. And we've got the leopards about there. And we had Tingana right here last night. Now, Central Road pretty much does this. And then it has a funny panic, and then it goes like that. And Tingana's favorite route is to literally come over here and then straight down that road and into Torchwood. Now, it is amazing now how we've watched, since I've been here, Kruger's territory change slightly. Now, why? Oopsie, I'm not 100% sure. So, that one's been squashed. Dropping everything. Okay, so basically the whole of Djuma when I arrived was in Kruger's territory, but she spent a lot of time around here, or a lot more time. So Buffalo's Hook Dam is up here. Buffalo's Hook Dam is over here. So, and she spent a lot more time in that area. And when she had these cubs, she seemed to move her territory down to the south. I mean, she's always crossed into the south, but she didn't spend nearly as much time down below our boundary as she has. Now, I would have said the core of her territory was basically the treehouse center of that, but she was everywhere. She used to go into Buffalo's Hook, into Torchwood a lot. Then we started seeing Shaluva 2005, and she started coming in to this northern area here. Obviously, she is no longer with us. Tingana did kill her. So there's a vacuum for a female leopard in this area at the moment. And what I'm wondering is now, when Xongile becomes independent, I'm really hoping that she gives Xongile this Djuma and maybe a bit to the south. What I'm worried about is she's probably going to give Xongile the bottom side of Djuma down here, and probably a lot of the territory that is outside of our traverse zone. And I think she's probably going to extend. I need another color just because it's more fun. I think, now this is all speculation, that Karula is then going to extend up to the north. So we might start seeing a bit more of Karula around here, and she might extend into this vacuum that was left by Xongile 2005. So it's going to be Shaluva 2005. Thank you, Vim. So it's going to be a really interesting process to see over the coming months when Xongile becomes independent, because Karula is most likely, I think, going to do that. I don't think she's going to push Xongile into this area, because beyond the old Shaluva territory is unknown land, and she doesn't want her daughter fighting. I think she's going to be down on Djuma and maybe on Little Gowrie, and while the wind is getting stronger. So let's go away. Emily was wondering what we're using to hold up the markers. Emily, it is half a wildebeest skull. So, well, the one horn is missing, but it is a wildebeest, and it's a very useful marker holder. You see, we just hook it over there, and that's nice and easy. Okay, let's go back into the tent. Okay, I like sitting here. This is quite nice and comfy. There we go, I'm in my spot. Now, James would like to know, are there any other animals that I know of that give away a piece of their territory to young females of their offspring, like leopards do? I was actually thinking about it the other day. I don't, James. Most other animals will actually push their offspring away. So it is quite a unique thing. I don't know if jaguars or pumas do it. I have to do some research on that. So I think it would probably be likely that something like a jaguar might do it, or a snow leopard, or clouded leopard, but I'm not 100% sure, I'm afraid. Okay, we're going to go quickly across to FW, who's got active cubs.
Oh. They've been moving around and milling around in the tree, and I just thought Hosana was wanting to come down. He was looking down in the fork of the tree, but he's decided not to brave coming down as yet. Maybe he'll come and try again later. So Xongile was fast asleep, and he walked up to her, started scratching her. He's playing with it, stalking at the moment. So yeah, she was fast asleep, and he came right up to her, almost jumped on her, and she took a swing at him. He swung back, almost started losing his balance, and then realized where he was and settled down again, moved across to the other side of the tree and settled down. It's crazy how boys will always be boys. He's the first one to get restless up there, start milling around and looking for something to do, and she's just laid back and relaxed. Bit of bullying going on there. You are not allowed to pass me. There we go. As she moves further and further away from the main stem of the tree, this is a typical move that they would do when lions have chased them up a tree, for example. Try and get into the highest and the thinnest branches where their weight is still carried by the plant, but a lion would never be able to get there. This is a very safe tree, though I highly doubt a lion would get up this one. But some of the other trees, lions would be able to get up easier, maybe using the assistance of other plants around, kind of making their own ladder up the tree. But when they're up in the top of the branches, they're relatively safe as long as they stay up there. Lynn, you would like to know if I have any idea where Karula might be. I have no idea. I think she's somewhere south of our traversing area, but yeah, I don't know exactly where she is at the moment. Ilana, aged 14, would like to know if 13, sorry about that, would like to know if Xongile becomes independent and she's in a spot of bother, if she's in a bit of trouble and calling for help or alarm calling, if Karula would come helping. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, let's quickly try and move around. I'll get back to that question now. Hosana's decided to descend from the tree. Just hold on. Let's go and look at that face. It's been quite comfy. He's already halfway down. A lot easier than what I thought it would be. Let's see how he does with this last bit. So coming back to the question you were asking, Ilana, I don't know for sure if she would come, but I wouldn't be surprised if she does. I have seen interaction between mothers and daughters after independence, but it's normally quite quick, just a quick hello, and then they carry on again. So that is something to maybe try and observe or see if it one day happens. Hosana did a lot better than what we expected. He spotted something and off he goes. Or is he just looking for shade? A new place to sleep. I think we must move back to our old position. I think we'll be able to see both of them very nicely from there. So just hold on while I... Might have to do a longer loop here. No, there's a nice spot here to get through. Xongile has also decided to start coming down. How amazing is that agility? I've lost view of Hosana. He's on the move again. Folks, we're going to head over back to Brent in the tent.
Now, since drawing a map is quite difficult, I got clever and I went on to the computer. Haha. And look here. So there we go. Let's just have a look here. That is the exact tree where the leopards are. It's a big torchwood tree just off Twin Dams Road. And you can see there's Twin Dams. So that is the exact tree where Effie is sitting right this very second. Now, if we come out a bit, we'll go visit where the cubs were born. Let me just, yes, there we go. So, Hosana and Xongile were born in a cave under a Timbwiti tree in this little thicket here. And it is the same cave I've seen Kunyuma, the young male leopard from Karula's last litter in. So right in that little drainage line, it runs from between Yala Road South and Batalia Road. But I think a lot of people might not realize that that is the same little river system that runs all the way from Buffelshoek Hook Dam. So there we go, it goes all the way from Buffelshoek Hook Dam and joins up with the Mwati River. Isn't that incredible? I love Google Maps. It's so much fun to look at the stuff. Now, when we talk about that impenetrable lot of little drainage lines that sometimes the lions and leopards go into and we can't get in there in a car, you can actually see, there we go, you can see them. They're really steep here. There's one irritating cloud in the way, and the areas around are really thick, which makes it near impossible for us to get in. But if we cut them carefully, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's another little one somewhere over here. There we go, 7. Now, those are all the headwaters of the Mwati River. So there's the little catchment. That's where the Mwati starts. And so just below where the Mwati starts is the Djuma camp. Now, we were looking at the map, and we were trying to decide whether this was a new picture or not. VM said, is that the new FC? I've actually realized I think it's the old Land Rover garages, VM. Yeah. So there we go. So at the moment, VM and I are sitting about there somewhere. The tent is in this little clearing here. So they haven't updated just yet. And that's Galago Camp down there. There we go. And there's Galago Pan. And then over all the way down there, there's Vuyatela. Now you can see this is a dry season photograph because there's no water, and there's the little pan, and that's the tree right there where the dam cam sits, on that tree. Well, they got this wrong. This definitely isn't Vuyatela Access Road. Okay. Now, let me know if there's any particular spot on Djuma, Cheetah Plains, or Arathusa you would like me to show you on the map. We could actually go for a little fly down to Cheetah Plains. What do you think, Fim? Now, here we go. That should be it. Yes, there we go. So, the area where we most see the cheetah, and you can actually see the big open areas here as you follow the mouth, and they extend all the way through to Inkoral. And then this is the cheetah boys' route, and I don't know what they do down here, but once they're through here, they generally walk straight across, oopsie, wrong one, and they get up onto this area here through here, which is also very nice and open, and they don't really wander far from the Kruger boundary in their wanderings, and they'll wander all the way up through Buffelshoek, and they get to this magnificent open areas in the Manyeleti and Kruger here. Now, those are gabbro soils, open grasslands. So if we go in a bit closer, those are trees. So very few trees. You can see how open it is. So big grasslands, lots of nice little drainage lines. I actually spent about 2 weeks sleeping in a tree, under a tree, somewhere in this drainage line when we were filming a rhino documentary, and we're filming in the Manyeleti, and we put up our fly camp in this area. Now, a lot of you are wondering, where have the buffalo and elephant gone? And this is one of the areas that the buffalo and elephant would have moved into the Manyeleti. And if we go a bit further in the Manyeleti, then we're back on the crests. Here we go. This is the area I'm looking for. So this, again, is massive grassland that is attracting all the buffalo and elephant to it at the moment. So you can see this is a dry season picture. There's almost zero water. There's tiny little drainage lines. And so tiny little drainage lines, but now during the summer months that there's been rain, there's water there, and that's pulling the buffalo, the elephant, the zebra into those areas. Now, Aaron would like to look at the Arathusa drainage line. Let's get back down. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. Arathusa airstrip. Okay. Let me just get my bearings again. There it is. So there is the Arathusa airstrip. There's Buff Pan. That's where the hide is, and that tree there. And there is Arathusa Safari Lodge. And there was still water when this photo was taken. Even though it was the dry season, there's actually quite a lot of water. You can see the green in there. So yes. Absolutely fascinating. I could look at maps forever and ever and ever. I do find them absolutely amazing. I actually have a collection of some old maps still in storage that I'm going to get framed and put up in my house. Now, there's Red Dam on Arathusa. There we go. I would like to look at Quarantine. Let's jump back across. Okay, there we go. We've got it here. Okay, so there's Quarantine. And you can see, there we go. That is what is considered Quarantine. Now, there we go. There's Vuyatela. There's Yuri's house. And there's Inga's house. That's where I live. And you can see that it's definitely a man-made open area. And by just looking at the bush next to it, which would be exactly the same, it's still on a crest, you can see it's that Combretum woodland. There's a lot more small trees in amongst the big trees, whereas in Quarantine, you really only see the big trees. I think this is quite an old picture of Quarantine. I think the elephants have removed some of those black dots over this drought. But here we are. Hopefully that helps a lot of you with looking and just understanding a little bit better about how it works and where exactly we are. Now, I talk a lot about the Sand River. So if we go down here, so there's actually the Mawati junction with the Sand River, and you can see even in a very dry season, the water is flowing. So this is the main reason there's a higher leopard density in this area than there is in our area. Not to say we don't have lots of leopards, we do, we just don't have as many. So that's the Manyeleti River that flows from Elephant Plains, and the Mowati and Manyeleti join the Sand River at a beautiful big beach down to the south. Okay, well, map lesson over. Let's go back to Ife and those incredible cats.
These two beautiful cats have been moving around. Hosana's on the move. He's heading back to the water, maybe going for a drink. Xongile looks interested in moving, but it is quite hot at the moment. So try and minimize, or start minimizing their movements. But you know, with younger creatures, they tend to not worry about too many of those things and just do what they do and do it when they want to. Has really been a spectacular morning, and just the ability to spend time with these guys for the first time has been wonderful. Now when I hear people talking about these different creatures, I'll know a bit more about them and have observed them for a little bit. There we go. She looks like she's stalking Hosana. She has gone in full-on stalk mode. She's just to the right of the road, almost about to get onto the road. He's also in full-on stalk mode on the other side of the road, looking at her. Let's see who's gonna break and pounce first. Maybe a little bullying session and a wrestling session between brother and sister. Hopefully in the time that I'm here, I'll also get to have some memorable sightings like I've had with other leopards in different areas. I think this could stand out as one of them, with Hosana trying to climb the tree so awkwardly earlier this morning. And yeah, like we also said earlier this morning, we've had some very good luck. The lion with a chameleon. It was something that I highly doubt I'll ever see again. So it's been a memorable time so far with Safari Live. Xongile is talking again. There we go. Hosana's pounced. He's chasing her around. Now they've just switched positions. Well, there he goes again. There we go. A bit of a wrestle going on. using his size and weight advantage very well. Yes, they're very playful. Anna Marie, a very, very nice comment. Maybe Karula will be back for sunset safari this afternoon. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope that she decides to come find her youngsters. See that jump up? The age they're at, they're like little explorers. Everything is interesting. Everything gets their attention. I wonder, their brain must just be like a little sponge taking all this information up, and through all the information that they do get, they just keep developing. One is still up in the tree, I can hardly see it, and the other one's just somewhere behind it, also just disappeared out of view. While we wait for them to pop out, we're going to head back to Brent in the tent with more lessons on the geography.
Welcome back. So I've headed north now, and on the map, I'm so much loving the map. There we go, the Mara Triangle. So let's have a look. Where's the river? There we go. There's the river. Now, we were talking about great open grass plains in the Manuleti. That is what you call a grass plain, not a tree in sight. Okay, there's the airstrip at Serena. Now, let's have a look. Ololo Gate. Now, I'm just trying to find where Agama is. It's on this ridge here. Could be... There we go, Agama Mara. The team stayed, and every day they would have to drop down onto the great open plains. What a spectacular spot that is. Oh, isn't that amazing? So there's the Mara River. So this is where James was, and Graham and Jean-Andre were playing all in this massive area here. It is one of the most picturesque parts of the world. And there's the Kenyan-Tanzania border. It's quite a long way. It doesn't look like it, but it is actually quite a long way. I've been fortunate enough. I've spent quite a bit of time in this area. Where did I stay? There we go. I stayed up here. There we go. There it is. Kitchwe Temba. That's where I've stayed quite a few times. And it actually reminds me of the story of my little brother. We were very young the first time we went there, and I had an action figure that he left outside and was stolen by a baboon, and I made him save up his pocket money to buy me another one.
Action figure was it?
It was a Ninja Turtle. It was Donatello, to be specific. I will never forget it. Okay. Now, as we go up, Lelani would like to know if we're going to see my brother today. Well, hopefully we can convince him. He's still in bed. But now, look at that. Look at that. The inland sea of Africa. Lake Victoria. Okay, now, I think we're going to go to the next spot that we've been with Safari Live. Nyungi, no. Urundi, no. Lake Kivu. There we go. We're in the right area. Mount Karambisi. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Karambisi. But we didn't climb Mount. I'm just trying to figure out where we were. There's Goma. That's Congo. Ah, there we go. Yes. It was indeed Mount Karambisi. So I'm going to take you on the little trip we did. So there we go. Kiningi is where park headquarters are. And where is it now? Just up here. There we go. So there's park headquarters. So you all meet there for coffee and you get your gorilla guide. And it is a maze of roads. And you can see how the agriculture in Rwanda stretches right to the edge. Now there's a stone wall built there. And it's not to keep the gorillas in or the people out. It was actually built to keep the buffalo from coming into that. So there we go. From Kiningi, we then went to the furthest group, the Susa group. And we had to drive down this road back into Ruhengeri. We might even be able to see the hotel we stayed in. There we go. I actually saw a grass tennis court in the middle of Rwanda. It was fascinating. Not something you see every day. Oh, I'm not going to be able to find our hotel, I think. That looks a bit... but at least I know where we went from there. So we went on the Ruhengeri Road, the one that goes to the Congo. So off we went. Whee! It took quite a long time. The roads are very narrow. Oh dear, the wind is playing a bit of havoc behind me. Nothing broken, don't worry. And where's Mount Karambisi? Yes, there we go. We actually even crossed out of the northern province and we went into the western province. And we carried on to this little town here called Mukamira. And then the road got even worse. We followed this little bush track between all the farms. And then we went up. And then we climbed right up onto this plateau here. And let me just figure out where we... There we go. I can actually say we stopped almost exactly there. And then we walked through these areas, and there we got to the wall. And this is actually a little drainage line that we walked up. Now, this impenetrable wall, does anyone know what it is? Do you know what it is, VM?
It's not forest.
It's not forest. What is a type of forest? It's a grass forest, a big grass forest. It is bamboo. It is impenetrable bamboo, and from the top. And we actually climbed above the bamboo line. So if we have a look here, you can see where the bamboo starts, and then you get into Mountain Heath. We got to about 3,500 meters. We caught up with the gorillas. We came up through this. We went up, and we got up with the gorillas somewhere here. We were very, very tired by the time we got there. Now, of course, these are all active volcanoes, but I'll show you a bit, or some of them are active, some of them are not, but I'll show you a bit more about that afterwards. Let's go see Efe and the leopard so he can say toodaloo.
Like true teenagers, after their little bullying session, they've split up. Hosana is exploring the water and Xongile has just decided to relax in the shade. Let me go back a bit. I think he's maybe drinking. Here we go. How nice is that? Cats are very clean drinkers. If you think about cats and dogs back home, dogs, when they go to a bowl of water, half the water gets spilled out, but where cats, they lick it up and almost scoop it up very cleanly and do not mess a lot. As far as I understand it, it's got something to do with the way their tongue moves when they drink. Folks, it has been an exceptional morning out in the bush. It has been such a privilege to spend time with these two beautiful cubs of Karula. We missed those lions, but hopefully we'll see them at a later stage. From my side, Davy, thank you for a lovely drive. We'll see you all this afternoon. Have a lovely day.
Okay, so we're looking here. So one of the only active volcanoes in Africa is just across the border in the DRC. And there's a cloud, silly cloud. But Karambisi, which is the mountain we climbed not all the way to the top of, you can see it's got a volcanic caldera right at the top. And there's some water inside it. Isn't that incredible? And it is the boundary between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. Okay. Now, let's fly all the way home to Djuma. Let's see how good my guesswork is. Am I going to guess into the right zone? Okay, whoops. Shum. There. Should be almost home. Oh, hurry up. Let's catch up with us. There's the Sand River. And just before we go, we've had some questions about the dispersal of certain leopards. And, I've got lost. Did I get lost, Vim? Oh, there we go. No, I know I am. There's Djuma. So if we talk about Quarantine and Kunuma, where they've dispersed to, obviously there's Djuma. Now, Quarantine, we see down here on Cheetah Plains. So Quarantine has basically moved into this area. He, however, does spend basically this whole eastern boundary of the Sabi Sands with Kruger. He goes all the way up into Buffelshoek. So he hasn't dispersed too far. Probably maximum distance about 30 k's. Now, Kunuma, on the other hand, has gone to the land of milk and honey. Kunuma is in this incredible area here with all these big rivers. He was seen recently around where my mouse is now, but this is where he's dispersed to. Again, not too far, about 10 or 15 k's. So it always depends. You never know how the dispersal is going to work. And it was, who was wondering about that? It was Nigel, there we go. Nigel was wondering about that. And one last map thing, and who was that for? Sorry, we need to click back on my other thing. I'm still getting... Trip Edwards was wanting to know how far the Mozambique border is. Not far at all. There it is there. So, as the crow flies, about 70 k's. There we go. That's the Mozambique border. Oh. What river is that now? Anyway. It's the Chokwan. Now, remember, on the 1st of January, every Sunday night at 10 p.m, Safari Live is going live to Nat.Geo Wild on your telly. So it'll be great to have you joining us. I know a lot of you like to have the telly and the computer going, but we would love to have all our fans in the States with us on our next great TV adventure, our first series. So exciting. And remember, we've got so much excitement planned for next year. So many new trips, so many new places, so many new animals to see. And we're going to be here to walk you through it. Every walk, run, jump, climb, wallow, swim. What else, Liam? What am I missing? Fly! Oh, here we go. Fly you through the amazing African wildernesses that we hopefully will be able to bring you next year. So from myself and Avim in the tent, and of course the rest of the Safari Live crew, we will be out in a few short hours for the Sunset Safari. Hopefully we'll have Rusty and Jigger up and running, but if not, you might find me in the tent. Hopefully I don't break anything. So toodaloo for now.